Hey, you caught us at the perfect time, baby. Welcome back to ASL term number 2, starting right here, right now. Let me refresh your memory really quickly, because it's been about almost 2 months since we've done ASL broadcasts live, and we do this every single week, at least 2 times a week on Wednesdays and Thursdays. But it's term number 2, which means everything that we saw back in the first term, that's going to flip on its head. New updates to Fortnite, new teams showing up, and most importantly, more rivalries coming through. Term number 1 ended off absolutely hot, with the rivalries coming through between different schools, different teams, different players, showcasing that they are in fact the best to do it here on ASL. Now, we love to see that happen. We love to see a storyline go through here on our games, on our broadcasts, in Fortnite here for ASL, and I'm just hoping that continues here. Term number 2, a long term to go ahead and witness, leading up to a LAN later on. Same LAN that we've seen last year go through, and the year before as well, AGC. My opinion, the biggest stage for ASL, for multiple different titles, I should say, where everyone can go ahead and showcase their talents. Start off with that stepping stone into esports to showcase their talents, not just to South Africa, but to the world. So, term number 2, starting off right here, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting off with the open division first. Then we have the Premier Division as well coming through, and we should surely be joined by Mr. Altruism a little bit later on. But 2 games of Open Division first. And looking at our participants over here, there are some of those familiar names that we've seen, familiar schools that we've seen as well. But it's a new term. It's a new season. There's so much that has changed in Fortnite, that constantly changes in Fortnite, then I'm going to go ahead and say there's going to be a term to remember. There's going to be games to remember. There's going to be an open division and Premier Division to remember. So much changing in Fortnite, from new POIs to weapons being unvaulted. I know that Vector SMG is back in the game. And honestly, we've seen it before go through and dominate lobbies just a couple of years ago when it was mainstream introduced into Fortnite. It's going to go ahead and prove prevalent again over here in ASL. Also, shout out to Acer Nitro, Acer for Education, going ahead and making this possible for all of these school kids, giving them these stepping stones to go into esports. I mean, we even saw a little bit of Overwatch competitive happen fairly recently this past weekend, where we had an opportunity to get into World Cup. That's what it's all about. It's about expanding esports in South Africa, and that's what ASL is doing. They're expanding esports for so many different players, starting off at primary school as well, all the way up, of course, into this Premier Divisions that we see, and trying to get as much notability into the esports of South Africa and push us even further, because why wouldn't we want to push further? I mean, we push further enough, maybe we get local service for Fortnite. That's all I'm saying. But first game of Open going to be starting very, very soon, getting all the players in the lobbies. Obviously, tournament rules is not going to be everything that has been in updates into the gameplay itself, so a lot of things will be cut out, but there's still so much that we go ahead and see. The twin hammer shotguns still in game, the iron pump shotgun still in game. Like I talked earlier about the SMG, the Thunderburst SMG, back in game. So powerful, especially with that hip fire. And we know that there are players that go for those meta drops. We get a couple players that try out all the little kooky weapons that we see, but of course that meta weapons that guarantee you the win is what a lot of these players are going to go for, and that is in fact a meta weapon, because remember, it's eliminations and placement that counts to those points, ladies and gentlemen. And we fly over the map right now, everyone choosing their destination, and look how beautiful the map does look. Frigid Fortress, one of the newest POIs in the game right now, of course relating to the Ice King that has been brought back for this season Fortnite Showdown being this season. Dark Dominion also a new POI, but players still favoring Wonky Land. You can see a couple teams landing over Wonky Land. Four Fields as well has a few players to go through, but we are going to move over to Wonky Land right now. Ninja Gamer having to go ahead and get that redeploy off of the Ferris wheel just to get out of dodge and stay alive for a little bit longer. We'll see how long they actually survive. Just a duo over here on this team as they find the Nemesis assault rifle also brought back in. Unvaulted. Such a good assault rifle as well. High damage output with that slow rate of fire. Gives you all the control in the world to go ahead and deal as much damage as you possibly can. Meanwhile, Sway, Silent Flan, and King Tail, names that we've seen countless times before also in here. We can even see over here on the map, CBK in here as well. Yapstar in here. So many names. Ezra that we've seen before in these games. Go ahead and showcase their talents one more time here for season, or for term 2, I should say. I almost said season 2. Maybe we do seasons from now onwards. We'll see. 47 players in this lobby, so it is going to be a slower paced game, at least off of drop over here. We are going to see that action that we love to see towards the end of the game, where we have, what, 10 different squads trying to battle it out for that first place. Meanwhile, right now, Ninja Gamer on height with that Nemesis managed to get a full shield over here. No mate kit, still at 55 HP, but has Titan Tamer right here as well. New shotgun in hand on top of that. And they have the new overdrive grenades as well. The new impulses that has been added. You can see it in use right now. And of course, balancing down to those impulses, the shockwaves. Of course, remember there was that entire drama behind it. And Fortnite decided that they were going to do something about it. And they released the overdrive grenades for this season. Still our 47 players, not too many engagements going on as we move over to Ezra. And the CBK side of things, the 3v2 is what we're looking to see over here as Uzumaki trying to go ahead and get out of dodge, uses those fists to get some distance. Pistol, the OG pistol, I should say, back in the game, dealing damage. Combat assault rifle from Splash over here, and the gold variant's gonna find a knock on one. CBK now down to play and just trying to get out of dodge. And those overdrive grenades coming in clutch over here for Splash as he hunts down Uzumaki right now. Shotgun in hand, needs to pop that reload. Combat assault rifle pops back out. The movement coming out of Uzumaki, a big 55 with the shotgun over there, takes Uzumaki down to a one-shot predicament. Now the bold battle comes through. Uzumaki trying to get height, but gets caught out at the end with the shotgun. Unfortunately, those flying fists won't save you today, as the first few eliminations go down over here to Izza and Splash. Meanwhile, in that kill feed, though, Sway managing to get an elimination on one, or at least a knock, and I believe that is in Wonky Land. This Ninja Gamer does go down. And in fact, Titan Tamer goes down as well. That is a full squad wipe right there. 17 teams is where we stand. 41 players, ladies and gentlemen. Is now the pace we usually see slows down at this point in time. Evan and Scar over here, a duo as well. You see that the Thunderburst SMG in hand of Scar right now. Shotgun minis. I mean, what more do you need? Especially when that SMG feels like it can fire so far away and still have no damage drop off. Even on the other end, twin shotguns in hand, the new one as well. And then that SMG. Find some minis to go ahead and top up those impulses, the overdrive grenades as well. In inventory, you need that mobility. We talk about it all the time. The M's of ASL, the meds, the mobility, the materials. You need to have it all if you want to get as much points as you can on that leaderboard. And like I said earlier on, that leaderboard based off of eliminations and placement, ladies and gentlemen. So these players are going to want to stick around for as long as they can. You don't want to be one of the first ones eliminated, as we are down to 42 players. I believe one did get revived over there for those reboot fans. Now you can see players farming up those materials. The pizza is back, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, to go ahead and heal up as much as possible. So we will see a couple more heal-offs perhaps this term. We got to see a good amount of heal-offs actually in term number 1 with those rivalries that I talked about. some of the rivalries being not even with players, but with the environment itself. Players getting caught out on hills of the new Chapter 7 maps. And it cost them that first place. It gave them the second place and not as much points to that leaderboard as they would have liked. Now with those overdrive grenades in here, the wingsuit's completely out of the game as well. It is gonna change things up and shake things up in a way I think benefits a lot of these players. A lot of these players know how to use those shockwaves, know how to use those impulses. And it's gonna benefit them into getting more eliminations, more placement, and more rotations easier. As we are gonna get another squad wipe over there as well, Aiden and company. They will be able to get their third back into the fray, but a couple shots right now over here from action in the distance is gonna find a lot of trouble. As I respected Typo looking for the grapple hook elimination. Now just playing with their food as well. Knows that there's a couple players nearby, but they're gonna have some fun. It's all about fun over here in Fortnite. You can call that disrespect if you want it, but they walk away with that elimination. 3 to the team's name currently. 37 players left alive. 16 teams. This Chop's gonna find one. Here's the new redeploy, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm not mistaken, the name of it is the Skyline Deployer. And again, we talk about rotations. Rotation's so important. Mobility so important. This is gonna play a massive factor into many of our games. That Skyline Deployer, you place the zip line. You can place it quite far away as well, and then you get that free gliding after you take it. Get off the zip line whenever you want, and you can pop that redeploy. As we see, it plays into effect over here. Another elimination comes through. 35 players. And a little emote to celebrate, being top 15 right now, ladies and gentlemen. They're then going to circle Dark Dominion right now. I wonder if we are going to get that as a central point for our final few zones. We are on storm number 3 currently. Very early on still. And so much action happening. Losing 5 teams quite quickly, and that may not seem like a lot, but when we only had that 20, it's kind of insane that we are seeing this much action early on. Usually with a lower lobby like this, or a lower number of players in the lobby, I should say, these players tend to go ahead and stick it on for a long time. They go ahead and play out towards that end game. Someone who may not be seeing that end game is Typo, as gets knocked down by Ezra in that kill feed. You can see players trying to rotate in now, as the circle will be shrinking. Splash gets the confirm on Typo as well. Aiden maybe wishing that they didn't dance for this long right now, as the bull's having to come out. The shockwaves as well, I should say the overdrive grenades. Just trying to play life, trying to get to a safe spot, pop that chug, get the reset. Trots doing quite well over here on HP. No shields though, and in a building looking to play a little bit of hide and seek, as Splash Cones in the room finds out, but Trots with the first engagement, a big 28 on that shield. Splash playing with the door though, 9 HP on Trots. Walks in, manages to take down Splash, but that's all that's going to be done. The revive looking to go through. The comms now going through to Aiden as well. There's one left. I've knocked one. What can you do to make this play? But Aiden on that redeploy, so far away, will not be able to go ahead and clean that up. As Trots does get taken down. Swagger and D-Knight, however, doing a little bush camping, and they find out Aiden. They spot the reboot van play coming through, and now Aiden having to use that overdrive grenades to get even more distance. D-Knight has that impulses as well. So does Swagger, and Swagger going for the full chase down. Sprays in the air, does not hit with that Nemesis. I mean, the Nemesis has that recoil, has that bloom that makes it so much harder than, let's say, the combat assault rifle to go ahead and spray in the distance like that. But Aiden does manage to get away, and now Dean getting shot at from the right side of this mountain, forced to build up very quickly, and maybe a panic bolt coming through, gets trapped in the basement of the little house that gets built. Now trying to rotate to safety. Ezra gets another elimination on the board over there. I believe that's at least 3 or 4 for the team just from Ezra alone right now. And I mean, when it plays into leaderboards like that, off of the eliminations, off of placement, and you have a player like Ezra farming those eliminations right now, you know you're going to be sitting comfortably on day number 1 of term number 2, open Fortnite. Scar looking to go ahead and push through the middle wall. Currently breaks it through. Splash gets a double in that kill feed as well. Splash doing phenomenally as even right now, RHB coming through. Gets a big amount of damage with those akimbo spots Splash in mid-air. Pulls out the golden nemesis and shows why it's called the nemesis. With that knock beautifully done, and clean up city is where we are. Ezra looking to go ahead get the reset for the team, even though coming through. Will the Riz be stuck over here? Gets cut off halfway, and Akimbo's blam 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 gets the eliminations. Evan with a beautiful cleanup and a mythic as a reward for that endeavor, for that chase. 32 players, 13 teams. And I mean, still Storm number 4 is where we stand. So much action. And these players don't even have to worry about storm damage. If they are lacking a teammate, they can head out into that storm, get that reboot quite easily still, and make it back into that top 10 scenario. Who may not be in this top 10 scenario is the amount of players right now in this small area, in these builds. I mean, shotguns coming through, pistols coming through, chug jugs getting popped by Taylor. See a golden Thunderbush SMG in the inventory as well. That's going to prove so beneficial in the end game. Aiden manages to take D-Knight down in that kill feed. Evan finds another. Aiden gets 2 over there, and a confirm as well. Takes us down to 28. 12 teams. As boy Lemon Lime over here just trying to get a reset as well in the bush. Not too much cover, but it'll do enough with the amount of players around currently. Storm number 5 kicks in. 19 seconds until these players have to move. Silent Flan with that OG pistol in the gold variant, looking to go ahead and get some chip damage through. Walls get built up as players jump left, right, and center, up and down as well. Aiden finds that confirm in the kill feed. Takes us down to 26. As Taylor and company just going to heal up, play time, play off of rotation over here. But with the storm shrinking, that rotation has to come through extremely quickly. So many players still needing to go ahead and rotate in. You can see players still playing out in the storm. They have no fear of the storm right now. It's still an early tick. As we see working class taken down, and in fact trying to roll down the hill, but will go ahead, get confirmed by Taylor. Kobe over here has those gauntlets as well. Purple Thunderburst will use those gauntlets to go ahead, get some mobility. Let's see, 10 charges left on it, popping the uppercuts and the dashes forward. Doing everything they can to get as much distance from the bullets behind them in that storm. Not just lightning that strikes, it's not just thunder that you hear going boom. It's the sound of Nemesis assault rifles in the distance. Hypo taken down as well, down to 22 players. We are going to go ahead see the Skyline Deployer come into play one more time. Soda knocked as well right now as a bunch of players off of that redeploy, making way into the safe zone. But how safe is it when there's literally 6 players this close by? Aiden, you have your teammate in fray, but still a duo over here. Popping that mid kit, getting back up to decent health. 35 shield though. It's going to be a tough one for Aiden, especially with this many players around. Sam though, right here to back up the teammate that is Aiden. Tyler finding one on Kobe. Takes us down to top 10. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, like I keep on saying, kills and placement. That's what you want for that leaderboard. And oh, would you look at that. Joy of joys, a gift from the heavens, a care package in that safe zone. Maybe it has those med kits that you need. Maybe it has some shields, chug jugs. Maybe it even has a gold weapon that you can use in this end game. Scar doesn't need a gold weapon. The purple will do just fine on the Nemesis. Picks up the quick clean up for 2, takes it up to 5, a total of 9 KP on this leaderboard for our duo over here. I mean, Evan, on the other hand, a full golden loadout with a mythic shotgun on top of that. And 4 kills to the name as we now reach our halfway mark. Storm number 6, but doesn't even feel like it's a halfway mark. We still have 7 teams within this. This is the end game now, ladies and gentlemen. As the height now looking to be captured by Evan. We've seen this time and time again. Get those sky bases up. Get the high ground for the end game. You need to have it, especially with all the talent that we have over here competing on ASL. And we know that that talent's going to show up for term number 2 as well. 11 players, top 6 situation. Clipped. Last one now. And 30 HP. Has medkits, has big pots, needs to find the opportunity to pop it. Overdrive grenades come through, doesn't get the shockwave that is desired over there. But still enough to go ahead, build a 1x1. Maybe get a bit of time for reset. Soda gets taken down, takes us down to 5. Pull out 10 players within here. Chalk from CBK, 6 pizza slices in the inventory to go ahead and heal. Teammate has a chug jug as well. They're looking healthy for a heal off potentially. I did mention that earlier on with the pizza slices. The heal-offs would make its way one way or another into term number 2, into ASL. Flipsy looking for an opening to go ahead and rotate in safely. They will find these builds, the pre-existing builds, to go ahead and move through. And on top of that, the loot from the elimination that just came through. Top 4 situation, ladies and gentlemen. 8 players left alive. Chart and Mika, the last 2, or I should say a duo, for their team. Scar on the high ground, purple Nemesis still doing work, looking for more and more. Evan has 6 kills to the name as well. They are doing healthy on the KP right now. So Yapster edits the wall, goes through. Surprise, surprise. Here's Johnny. Manages to go ahead and get 1, but Spinny Tornado is going to go ahead and get the trade off. Get the elimination, takes us down to a top 3 situation. 6 players left alive. Spinny Tornado, the last one now. Can try to go for a revive, but very risky to go ahead and do so. In fact, not even an option anymore as Scar gets the thirst with that Nemesis. Spots out CBK on the high ground. Spinny Tornado, the last one, down low. A 2v2 v1, ladies and gentlemen, is where we stand. Can Spinny Tornado make a miracle out of this moment and get at least the top 2, hell, maybe even the top 1? Or will just the numbers advantage of the duos above go ahead and prove too much to handle? Spinny Tornado overdrive when it comes through, takes the height, but there is that team that is CBK on the height of the bridge right now. Tornado getting shot at from both teams, left, right, and center. Focus the low target, and maybe we'll get the win. But Aaron looking for a cheeky angle on CBK now. Maybe focus on the duo, deal as much damage on the duo that you can, and then we have a 2v1 perhaps for the end game as CBK rotates in off of those overdrive grenades. Scar on the height right now, needs to move quite quickly. Spinny Tornado eventually taken down to the storm. We have a 2v2, ladies and gentlemen. CBK have all the heals in the world. Scar and Evan have all the height in the world. Who's gonna walk away with the first win for the open division here on term number 2 ASL? Scar looking for angles, gets hit quite heavily. No shields left, 92 HP, and then takes a 10 tick from the storm. CBK, they have to rotate in now on this hill. Scar looking to hold them out, even though deep in the storm. Needs to go ahead and move very quickly. One CBK member down, that is Sharks. Mighty Mika, the last one alive, being searched for, hunted for by Evan. Spots out on the high ground. Mika, fancy footwork, trying to stay alive, but it's not enough. As Scar, 10 HP, gets the win. 15 KP for Scar and Evan, a duo, walking away with the first open game of term number 2. My God, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1, Redam House Bedford View, walking away with the first victory royale of the open. Absolute madness, a smaller lobby, but still total non-stop action. That's just game number 1, guys. That's game number 1. We still have one more open game, and then guess what? We still have the Premier Division coming here on ASL Wednesday broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are so back. ASL is back, and you caught us at the perfect time. We're going to take an intermission really quickly. Go get your popcorn. If that wasn't enough to let you know you should have snacks every single time ASL goes live, I'm telling you right now, go get some popcorn. Go get something to drink. If it's raining by you, go get a cup of coffee. If it's not, get a soda. And we'll be right back after the intermission with game number 2 and the leaderboard for game number 1. Term number 2 ASL, ladies and gentlemen, starting off with the open division. But I got a little quiz for you guys first. Let's see how many of you have Pokemon knowledge. Oh, what is the fire type starter Pokemon from the Kanto region? I wonder. Maybe it's a Charmander? Who is that Pokemon? Well, we have that Pokemon with us. In fact, we have the gift with that Pokemon as well. I told you guys we'll see him a little bit later on. I managed to throw a Master Ball at him to get him here even quicker. Ladies and gentlemen, Ultradism is joining for game number 2 of the Open Division.
I'm fired up to be here, shall we say.
Oh, God damn.
All right.
Get him out. Get him out.
Let's get this started. It's term number 2, AR. I was only supposed to come on from the Premier Division, and this is me muscling my way onto the stream. After game number 1, I was so excited to see what was coming. And let's get this action going, man, because that was a fired up start.
Oh, it was insane to actually what it said. And I mean, for first game on, that sets the pace for term number 2 immediately. I mean, we see changes after changes happening in Fortnite, but these players, they somehow managed to play it perfectly that quickly. They get the knowledge of these new guns, of the metas. It's absolutely insane.
I must admit, AR, this has been one of the biggest changes to Fortnite, and I've seen mixed opinions on it online. Just taking a look at our first game leaderboard, of course, position and kills both count towards your number of points at the end of this, and yeah, we have a lot on the line.
Guys, also please, if you are not part of this proper division, there will be consequences. Your points will be taken down. Make sure you're playing in the right divisions here on ASL. But post game number 1, CBK taking that lead, 56 points with their single elimination to go ahead and top that leaderboard. But game number 2 now, and you got to watch a little bit of it while I was yapping over the gameplay. You saw the new things like the shotguns, the Thunderburst SMG being back, the new redeploy system as well, and of course the overdrive grenades that we see for mobility. We talk about mobility all the time. What do you think about that being in tournament mode that we get to witness on ASL?
Man, first and foremost, big changes means that the various strategies, I think every team's going to come in with their own way of approaching this. But like you talk about mobility, there are core fundamentals to Fortnite. They're still building the walls, etc. So you got to be able to challenge people's builds. You got to be able to close distance, your mobility. You got to be able to escape people or run away from the storm. That's where these grenades have come out. And we've seen various grenades like this over the different seasons. And the other big thing, AR, that stands out to me season after season is what do you do when you get in nice and close? There's only one weapon that comes to mind season after season, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And with so many shotguns now available, from the Akimbos, the new Chaos Reloader, the, if I'm not mistaken, the Iron Pump shotgun is what it's called. That being in-game right now gives so much options, so many choices for these players. I will say though, the new shotgun has a very, very slow fire rate, and yes, it can go ahead and hit that high damage, but let's say you're unfortunate enough to miss that, 9 out of 10 times you're going to get beamed by that Thunderburst SMG. But game number 2 of the Open Alt, 45 players jumping over this Chapter 7 map with, as you can see, quite a few changes on it.
Oh, I love this. Every season I come in and I love just taking a little tour around there. Wonky Land is still in there, which is a big part and going to be the focus of a couple of teams out there. But Dark Dominion in the sense and how heavily contested. And even the wonderfully named Squibbly Shores up on the west-hand side there got home to 2 teams. We'll see if one of them peels out of this. But should be actually quite an aggressive start for one of these maps.
And Sus Studio still exists somehow. Don't know why, but people love it still. And Splash and Isra, they did fantastically on that last game. We'll see how they play out in this one. Splash was beaming quite a lot over there. So, I mean, getting KP, like we talk about, kills and placements for that leaderboard, it's a must. And when you can do it as good as these two, you're getting points on that leaderboard nonetheless. But Absorbed Spoon, however, 10 HP and will get caught out though by D-Knight. And probably going to get thirsted almost instantly.
Did not even have the time to pick up a gun. That's what the intensity of this is. That is a dramatic thing to come up a set of stairs towards, and some very vicious bananas laying waste to this eastern side of the world. Up here, Tyler's Goated was certainly lived up to that name in the previous match, but has already lost their partner, so taking a far more defensive ability. Down to the Squibbly Shores we go. Splash certainly at home here along the water side, taking some good damage towards their opponents, and not looking to thirst out. Too low HP. One goes past each other, ships in the night, but Splash actually in the deficit in terms of the HP, but at least drags the attention of the rest of the team. It's only Ezra ever coming in here with them, alongside them. Splash does get some distance, but there's a Kimbo shotguns in hand and already a golden pistol AR.
And not just any pistol. That is the OG pistol. That is the Chapter 1 pistol, I believe, back in the game. And getting a gold variant off drop, absolutely insane. Let's see what can be done with it. It's just going to be a Kimbo's to go ahead and start off this chow. That's one down, 150 HP, still not touched at all. Gets the thirst immediately, and now the bullets come flying through. Now the walls have to be put up. Now the reset will have to be found over here. You don't want to play this in this building. You want to try to get the height advantage, and you can see that immediately. Going up these stairs, building up off the roofs, and looking for angles now in the open.
But I love how they're playing this. We're seeing Ezra being the stalwart that's I'm gonna stand and fight. Akimbo's in hand, and even if you miss those shots, yeah, you don't want to really try and reload those in the middle of the fight. But then you pull out your mythic OG pistol. That's a person who can stand strong against it. And so Splash has kind of just been poking at the edges, and it seems like they have actually chased off this. It started as a duo versus a trio, but they take the Squibbly Shores for themselves, and we head across towards the center, just east of Dark Dominion.
Big shots coming through as you switch perspectives over here. Our boy taken down to 48 HP. Splash is on the ground though. Needs to pick that up and pop those as quickly as possible. And I mean, look at that pistol alt. OG fans unite. This pistol being in our modern day Fortnite Battle Royale. Absolutely insane. And even the green variant over there, you can see the rate of fire. You can see the damage as Janitor's wall, finding a wall in front of them and bullets from behind, now having to back up. And so much loot over here. Just, you know, let's get a little bit of goop before we go ahead and move to cover. Not worried about anyone else behind us. Still on height though. Up close is our opponents. There's Butawan looking for the shot, but still no confirms coming through. Finally a knock in this engagement.
Well, I mean, that was some of the most patient play coming out from the team who had an obvious advantage and oblivious to the threat hanging above them. There's a bit of too much focus on the shiny things on the ground. We all get distracted at some stages, but it is the confirmation of one of the two kills. I think one of them got out there. It's going out towards the northeast. But it's always good for a team to pick up a kill point like this, but I would have loved to have seen a little bit more aggression from a team. But you know, maybe this is their first time in the tournament. Not names well known as of yet.
And that's the beauty of ASL. We talk about it every single time, how we see new names. The beauty of it is we get so many sign-ups for ASL. It's ridiculous how much people put their talents for show over here, for everyone to witness, whether it be on this Twitch channel, whether it be on the YouTube, or whether it be at that LAN alt, AGC, that you and I have gotten to witness firsthand for multiple different titles. We love to see the growth that these players have. So many new names and faces coming through as well. Means that every single year we do lands, it's going to be hotter and hotter. But for now, is a backing off, keeping that gold pistol in the backpack. Just popping those overdrive grenades to create as much distance as possible. And of course, it gives you that speed boost upon landing as well. And just making enough distance over there to maybe get a reboot in the next couple minutes.
Yeah. They were playing so well with Splash, so losing your partner in crime is kind of a big hit, and we always talk about that as we approach the end game. Still so many teams, 15 squads still in here, only having lost 4. Pretty nicely full lobby, and yet with that hot contested drop in so many locations, we still have so many teams because they understand just getting out is important. Just even keeping a single player alive, and then, like you say, plenty of time still to reboot is one of the other new additions, the floating balloons and zip lines. Such distance to be able to cross the map and get some good rotations later into the game.
And that we also get to see that power gloves coming through as well, the gauntlets for extra mobility, punching through, and does about 70 damage per hit as well. So yeah, you can definitely use that on the offensive as well. As Scar finds another nemesis, second game Nitro, and has that new shotgun in hand as well that we mentioned a bit earlier. Of course, the staple of the inventory has to be that Thunderburst SMG. It's just so good, especially with the minuscule amount of bloom that you have when firing it and recoil. It's phenomenal to just beam someone, whether they be up close in your face or whether they be 100 meters out.
I love this. I'm sitting here wondering what year it is because of the number of things, the throwbacks to the past seasons, and I kind of love it. Every season has their own overpowered weapon, and now Epic has decided, you know what, let's put them all in at the same time. And you get to, whether you're using a Kimbo shotguns or the OG pistol or the Thunderburst SMG, it's fantastic. It's so entertaining to watch, and it means that everyone can play whenever. It's bringing people back into Fortnite, and like you say, ASL has certainly got enough to offer them when they come back.
I mean, how often do we see pizza in ASL? We know that.
Also, did you notice keeping the Thunderburst SMG in hand with the gray variant instead of the purple one lying on the ground, the purple other variant? I'm not sure exactly which SMG. I think
the twin mag.
SMG. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Thunderburst is better in grey.
We know, we've seen these players choose their metas all the time and play off of what they know is best, not just on paper, but in performance as well. Yep. And that being the case right there, unfortunately, Jender is 9 HP off of that redeploy, and we'll have to go ahead and get that shading is caring method out with the medkits. Our boy dropping one, and now on the defensive, spots one out. A little bit of an encounter, just to run up to each other, you know, a friendly we charge off and then we joust, sir. Eventually our boy is going to be the one to come out victorious off of that 1v1. Respect your 1v1s, kids.
I love how there was definitely teammates from both sides still watching them, and they kind of danced around. I don't know how the 3-2-1 call came out, but I mean, on the other hand, it's part of the fun part of Fortnite. The team's taking it seriously, though. They're the ones to start racking up kills. We do see Evan and the rest of that Random House Bedford View team. They are Premier Division, so their points don't count, but they still make an impact. Kind of a raid boss across the valley.
Everyone moving in now as the zone closes one more time. Storm number 4 coming in, ladies and gentlemen, as Speedy gets taken out. Beast down as well by King Taylor. 14 teams, 30 players. We are going to get the res stuck over here in the storm as well. Butavan with that gold pistol in hand. Our boy getting beamed at as they try to roll down the mountain to safety. I don't think there is safety over here, especially with Sway, Silent Flan, Tyler right here just to beam anyone, pick up whatever scraps may be of KP over here as we get on that rotate. Alt, interestingly enough though, storm number 4, we're down to 12 teams. This is something that's very, very rarely shown on ASL. We're used to seeing 12 teams in our final zone. Yeah. We're seeing it now in the 4th one.
I think it's because you've got so many good options now. Looting becomes a little bit more reliable, and so when you get a little bit more powerful quicker. And teams that are intent on getting some good points in our standings are going on the offensive. They're taking those early fights. You know, if they're losing it, yeah, they'll back off, they'll reset, but you can feel good. And I mean, look at Silent Flame there. With, I think it was 2 different, there we go. 2 and a gigantic keg there, ready to take the fight uphill. And coming out the better against Boomy Bob, it seems. Papa Action and Quasi gonna be here and hereabouts, but I see there's still some distance to make up, and so Speedy Cub gonna be taking a very fast approach up that side of the hill, and actually gets rebuffed down towards the other side. In fact, there's 3 more teams coming in here. Everyone's heard the shots, and it's time to now start padding those stats.
Also, case in point over there, that was a Nemesis assault rifle against the Thunderburst SMG, and the SMG won. I just want to point that out. They were downhill, and they won that battle over there. Now looking to go ahead and do it again is Extend Life for the purple variant of that Thunderburst. It's a gun that we're going to be seeing throughout term number 2, or at least until Epic decides, hey, we've seen enough of this gun right now. We're going to vault it again. Hopefully they don't vault this golden pistol, though, that we see in Tears. inventory. The OG pistol being back makes me so happy, especially because it does so much damage output. Boomy Bob though with that new shotgun, all that is a single fire shotgun. One slug in the round, then you have to go ahead and hit that long reload, so every shot counts with it. And that's why players are opting to go for that iron pump, but Boogiebot taken down with said shotgun that we just saw by Queasy. Looking to go ahead and heal up just a little bit live, trying to push through, and we'll go ahead get the clean up for that squad, takes us down to our top 10.
It's a double-edged sword, the single shot, because I think when you're on the aggressive, it's so nice. If you've got control of the editing and you take down your wall at the exact moment that you press the trigger, you win that fight. You line them up behind it, you win that fight immediately. But if they're pushing you, you get one chance, if that. You have to time it perfectly, so the mind games are never in your favor, and that's where someone with a slightly more reliable loadout is going to come out there. But reliable old styles is, of course, high ground for most of it, and it's going to be RHB sitting out there looking to put in some damage. The Knights and Swagger sitting out here, kind of caught in the middle, but securely in the next zone at least, so they can turn their attention elsewhere. And they're going to actually have some great damage from a long range and tracking down towards the coastline. Such just a pixel in the distance to aim at.
You know how I know I'm getting old? I didn't see that guy. I didn't see that guy until the numbers came through, and then I saw the shockwave come in as well. And still continuously spraying with that Nemesis, and of course, we talked about it a little bit earlier on. High damage output, high recoil as well from the Nemesis assault rifle. So you have to be fairly skilled to go ahead and use that as we enter our top 9 over here at the new Sanctuary. A lovely POI. It reminds me of the Star Wars seasons that we've seen in the past. Alt 19 players to go ahead and make their way around the ship, find a positioning, and get that high ground that you talked about.
Oh, there is this fight coming out here. Dear Knight was actually starting to look backwards for the first time, and Evan takes a huge hit behind them. Gonna have to draw on the powers of Master Splinter and feast up on a bit of pizza there to try and get that. But they seem to be well stocked. In fact, wow, that was actually just the distraction. The team on the other side of the triangle has managed to close the distance and cleans them up. I don't know if there was even a knock. Actually, there's an entire kill there, so not without its casualties.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. If pizza was in front of me too, I would be distracted as well. I'm not gonna lie. We enter our top 7 now, ladies and gentlemen. 15 players left alive. United Company still aiming towards that, looking for an opportunity. Now uses the gauntlets. Go ahead and get that rotate off. Try to get angles around this ship. And then the redeploy. There it is, now moving through Ezra over here as well. And quite low on HP, getting that heals off and full shield right now. But still in a predicament where that one shot from the shotgun or maybe a good enough spray from that Nemesis will go ahead and result in the knock. Swagger close by to the teammate on the rotate. Spot some big pots, spot some gauntlets. And we'll go ahead and rotate as we enter Storm number 6.
Storms number 6, I feel, is where we start to get serious. And I cannot believe we're already down to only 5 teams. This is going to be, I think, one of the most dictated, strategized, overthought end zones that we normally get to see. Either that or team's going to just utilize that mobility. If they're feeling pressured, they can either get out quickly, and so quick, decisive decision-making and awareness of the surroundings is huge. Ezra managing to build up a little bit more. That's just to get you out. You've got to find some time now. Splash gonna, having been revived, have the responsibility of turning around and just trying to dissuade this approach. But Swagger living up to that name and charging forward with full confidence, it seems.
I love when we mention something and it happens in game in front of us. You just talked about mobility, and Ezra managed to get out using those overdrive grenades and just managing to live for a little bit longer. Flan and Company on the heights over here, spotting everyone around them. Poogiebot now building up. And Thunderburst doing work to those builds, just barely getting a lick in of 28 damage on that gold variant. Life getting taken down by Splash over there. It's just a knock for now. Still some time maybe to get a reset off for the team. But meanwhile, Flan and Company They're going to rotate in very soon. Look where they are on that minimap. Look at what stands between them and the safety of the next zone. And, I mean, look at Tyler's health right now. So low and getting pushed immediately. Plan, though, with the distraction. There's that shotgun shot coming through. Tyler does go down, but the trade comes through in our top 5 situation. Reset will come through off of that revive, and we will get to see them in the next battles to come through.
That was perfectly played. On 5 HP, you're willing to take the knock if you can get enough of a distraction that your teammate cleans it up, wins the fight, and then gets you raised up. It is beautiful at the end there, and now going to have some space as we go across to teams a little bit more cramped up, down to 4 squads, down to 3, in fact, as we see Boy Lemon Lime get falling prey, and that's Taylor, who was just on a sliver of HP. Team is ready. Meanwhile, Splash and Ezra up to 9 kills already across this lobby, looking for their top position. And certainly have gotten themselves enough placement points, but they want more. More kills up for grabs, and they're both looking pretty healthy. Ezra drawing the attention a little bit, taking the high ground, and still, well, I saw a flash there on the very high ground, and those are the guys to watch because they don't have to worry. It's this close range action though. Gives Splash 1 kill here, turns, finds Pookie Bot, trading it out there, down to 17 HP, but has Ezra alongside, shoulder to shoulder. They're going to charge down Pookie, confirm that, and that's going to be a couple more teams as we down to our final 2 AR.
And the thing about that also, the smoke was popped as well, so passively healing shield on top of that in that fight is absolutely insane. But look at the height. Look at the height advantage that we see right now. Plan and company, they've got an entire mountain between them. There's a bridge as well. They just need to look for the opening right now. But oh boy, there comes that mobility that you mentioned. That overdrive grenades coming through. So much speed given to the user on that rotate. Because look at where the next safe zone is for Storm number 8. And surprisingly, the zone feels way smaller than it is for Storm number 8 right now. But these players, our top 2 teams, looking to go all out in these final moments. Flan with a lovely little dodge and weave behind that edit. Avoids the shotgun shot. Is there though with a 106 over to Flan, does manage to go ahead, get the knock, now pushing through, Spaceway over here, looking to go ahead and maybe get a trade out. Splash goes down, it's a 1v2 situation. Tyler no shields though, the thirst comes in, and that is going to go ahead and give some siphon through as Sway gets knocked out as well by Ezra. And a 1v1 is where we stand. The 10-tick zone. Ezra has no heals. 40 HP, managing to go ahead, get back into safety, get to the high ground. Meanwhile, shields being popped on both members right now in this final engagement. It is a 1v1. Purple shotgun and gold pistol against an inventory. An entire arsenal on King Tyler right now.
Oh my goodness.
The attempts coming from Tyler to go ahead and maybe punch out into the zone. Shotgun shots come through, barely connecting for both players. Balls coming out as well now from Ezra, looking to go ahead, keep as much height, keep as much walls, keep as much protection as they possibly can. Both players basically even right now on health. Ezra, 12 HP, cannot get touched by the storm as Taylor might go down to it eventually. Whoa! And just like that, a well-fought second over there, but Ezra and company taking the first again.
Oh my goodness. How does Ezra come out the better there? They go into that at the beginning of the final duo, 2v3. They trade 1 apiece. Brilliant little subtle plays in the basement by Ezra to get an extra kill and turn into the 1v1. But then Taylor has all the resource advantage, has 2 health kits better there. We could have seen all the way to a heal off there, in which case Ezra would not have won that. Siphons aside, they were done. I thought that was going to have to be Ezra pushing in as hard as they possibly could and trying to get that early pick. And then we get Ezra down completely. 1-tick zone kind of regions and having to chase the storm. Taylor gets pinned against the builds. Just eliminated by the storm. ASL, man, it shows you never know what's coming, not to the last second.
And that last second somehow still pushed to that late of zones. What was that, zone number 11 if I'm not mistaken? Even in a 1v1 situation, ASL still brings us to the very last storms. But if you're thinking that that's all the Fortnite we have for you today, you are massively incorrect. This guy over here joined in for what's about to come next, the Premier Division. So we're going to set that up with a short intermission and be right back with even more Fortnite ASL action.
This is it. This is the big time. ASL could not get higher than the Premier Division. These are our elite Fortnite players from across the country, all fighting it out, and with one goal in mind, AR. The LAN. The LAN.
The LAN. We've gone to this alt. We've seen how these players give it their all at AGC. And this year, once again, these players looking to be the main event of AGC. We talk about the megastars in the making all the time. This is where megastars shine at that LAN. And it all starts here with the Premier Division.
Man, it's the coolest thing, the fact that we've had 2 years of AGC before now, where players get to play, school players get to play alongside the pros in the same tournament if they want. There's obviously the school division on its own, but getting to sit across from your heroes, the fact that we've seen people collecting autographs at that, that's what we're playing for. And the coolest part for me is now having 2 years behind us, we've seen some of our megastars in the making no longer just be in the making. They're actually part of pro teams competing in some of the biggest tournaments in the country and in the world. So right now, these are the eyes to keep watching. Watch these moments, watch these names that we call out time and time again. And AR, 2 lobbies up for grabs. We're early into turn number 2.
You talk about being next to the heroes. I talk about taking down those same heroes that are right next to you at AGC. That makes a name for yourself right there. Because not only does that put a target on your back as, this is a guy that we can get for our org. This is a guy that we can get to represent South Africa. It puts a target on your back of, this guy is one of the best. I might have to just take them out first in Fortnite. Yeah. I might just have to keep my eyes behind my head for this guy that might sneak up on me, that might steal the win from me. And we love to see that happen and start off here on ASL. Like Alt said, 2 games of the Premier Division here today, ladies and gentlemen, that we are loading into. Alt, talk to me about it. What are you hoping to see in these 2 games? We got to witness all of the new things now. We got to witness almost heal-offs at the end. What do you want to see?
All right. Basics in check. We were talking about that nice and earlier. Here, coordination. You are jumping in with 3 players, and all 3 players need to be on the same page. Have distinct roles between it. We've got to have some sort of long-distance threat, right? Snipers, we haven't talked a lot about them in this season. That's fine. Those are okay. Thunderburst SMG from 60 to 100 meters away. Perfectly fine right now. So you got to get someone to start that fight. Then something like the gap closing, the mobility to get in there. We've got our grenades. We've got our shotguns once we get to the other side and pushing with 2 or 3 people. We saw it even in the open division. People juggling aggression. Hey, look at me, and then edit up a wall in front of you or something like that. And those are the sort of plays that you're going to see so crisply executed by the best in this lobby.
Forgive me for being fat, but I also think that the pizza is extremely needed. Whereas you have that 10 seconds to pop a chug, you just go ahead and pop a slice of pizza, and you're good to go again.
Insane.
The quick heals is so needed, especially when you see names like that. I saw AWAC out of the corner of my eye over there, landing at Painted Palms. Let's see what happens. These are going to be names that you recognize now, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of these names are names that we've seen dominate before, but also we get to see some other names come through already. Eliminations in that kill feed as Adipjo gets taken down as the first elimination of our game number 1.
Oh, fantastic seeing that coming through there. And just looking across there, Mr. Fishy being around. Ty Boss has been in lobbies for the last year or 2, which is great to see. And I mean, the rest of this, a pretty good lobby. Seeing, in fact, CM Kwezi, Booming Bob, they were in our previous game alongside Papa Action. And so maybe they were just using that as their warm-ups now for when they're going to take it seriously as Enzyme goes down. 2 players hit the decks, plenty of respawns still up for grabs, and no teams out of it just yet.
If I'm not mistaken, Konya actually got those 2 eliminations in that kill feed. So that's 2 KP instantly for that team right there. And of course, you want that KP, kills and placements, as always, for our leaderboards, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Fishy, that OG pistol instead of that SMGs. Of course, the pistol can put so much damage out there as well. And then that Chug Jug in hand. The Akimbos we've seen time and time again how it's done, but up close and personal now is Boomy Bob. And there's what we were talking about, Alt. That single shot shotgun did not connect over there. And it gave the opportunity for the opposition to get the knock on Boomy Bob. High risk, high reward. You need to have the aim for it. One slip up, like we talked about, and you end up in the situation Boomy Bob is in.
Yeah, I mean, Boomy Bob did a good job of being able to like go in, take the shot, and then get out, get some verticality. But then they were kind of stuck, and teammates were far too far away. We already see Papa going to go down alongside their teammate, and it's up to Kwezi to try and salvage something from that fight. But Kwezi was on the other side of the map when that fight started, and that's what we get to see. There's nothing wrong if you can execute it. It has its time and place, but there's a way to play it. As we see Konya coming in here, Divine. This is Glenwood High School. They have been featured in so many of our tournaments, and they're kind of reaching a peak right now. So certainly worth watching them. They've already got 2 kills, and Konya trading it out right now against Striker down low there. Carl going to pick up another one. Busy finishing off Fishy right now, and that fish is fried as we see them looking to clean up right now. Up to 3 kills. Boomy Bob going to go down on the other side. Still Konya trying to fight this out. Might go down themselves, but actually just finished it off with a quick little double pump. Cleans up here for Glenwood. 3 kills to nothing.
You beat me by a second. I was going to say that's a fish out of water, but we walk over that. Connie had 2 HP at the end there. That clutch up is insane for game number 1 already. And I mean, like you said over there, you have to be playing at the highest level possible. Speaking of the highest level possible, AWAC and Dragon over there taking engagements, and you see them running in together, not even worrying about ramps, not worrying about builds. They got the aim to go ahead and take out every player that they come across. As Dragon, with the 3-piece over there, gets the KP up for the team.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, this team, AWAC, Micah, Dragon, these are the guys that I have for a while been looking at as potentially our number 1 in the country. There are enough other people that I'm not willing to put my money on it just yet, but I always expect to see them approaching those final lobbies and those final storms, you know, leading the lobbies and the standings by the end of it. So, and a team that goes very well from aggression to aggression. They win the fight, they get what they need to, and on the transition immediately to the next team, hunting across the map.
A couple things guaranteed in this life: death, taxes, and that edge meat will show out at ASL Fortnite time and time again. Meanwhile, we go back over to the Aiden perspective. Has the pizza in hand, has the pistol in hand, has the iron pump shotgun, and that's also something you notice. A lot of these players that are hunting down eliminations, they are opting for even a gray variant of that iron pump. They want the consistency of being able to hit those shots rather than that risk of high output damage on one slug.
Yeah, it means that if you get into a box fight with someone, you can dance around a bit and hop and try and get your shots in there. One pump is very much in control. That's what I was saying earlier. If you've got the control of the builds, you can quickly go through there and clip someone out, or you bounce over the top of them. You know, a death from above kind of drop in with one of the grenades, and hopefully we can speak that into being. But certainly a high risk, because if you don't kill them, you're standing next to them with no bullets. So here we go. To Wonky Land is Divine and the rest of our team from, I think this was Glenwood.
God, I love this POI so much. It's such a whimsical POI that gets filled with bloodshed so often. It's phenomenal. we love to see it happen.
Like Happy Tree Friends.
Exactly.
Shout out that reference. If anyone is here, great part of your childhood if you want to take small creatures and make them violent.
Nostalgia hitting right here on ASL, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag Happy Tree Friends. Yeah, Frigid Fortress, a couple teams as well, 3 to be exact. Of course, the new POI for this season, Fortnite Showdown, bringing in the 7, the Foundation against the Ice King. So a lot of OG references happening, and you see that with the pistol as well in Santa's hand over here. Santa got a pistol for Christmas and is aiming it towards Aiden right now, and there's that damage, but the bolt comes up and then counterfire comes up. That was an absolute beam, and you can see why people love that pistol.
So nice. And being on the high ground like that, you even saw it from your opponent's point of view. They were looking up. They knew he was there. And it was just that fraction of a second when they stopped looking. Peeks over the top and nearly confirms the kill. But Cabo over here in the Slim Shady outfit. Going to be looking to close that down. Going to take one moment, one opportunity to get up and challenge their opposition on the high ground. The rest of the team pretty much content to stay down here. In fact, Santa has charged in against them. It's met with a wonderful NPC throwing rocks around the corners. They're going to just
the rock.
that. It is the rock. He stays firm, though, staying steady. And there's a tough opposition now to fight out against. They start to chase down their opposition. This is a difference in mentality.
Who would have thought the rock threw rocks as an NPC? That's crazy. But to your point as well, you spoke it into existence. You talk about the death from above. Santa delivered with the death from above with that pistol. But now Typo is delivering with the death from that enforcer rifle, or with that combat assault rifle, I should say. And then immediately, not going to overchell, not going to overpeak, immediately pops that overdrive grenade, gets back with the team, and plays off of placement right now, as we see Edgemead with even more kills in that kill feed.
All of them in the hands of Dragon right now, but gets another knock to that. Gonna take out Santa. Santa came down the wrong chimney, it seems, right now, chasing after those other kills. And instead, AWAC, there's the team. Running interception, even with the confidence. Look, Micah is off just tracking down the next person and knowing how to engage that and just being a relentless dog on their tail. We jump now to the frigid fortress in the north where visibility is low and HP bars looking to get even lower. That's 3 teams at least that I see.
3 teams looking to go ahead and chill out together at Frigid Fortress. They can't stay here for too long though. The zone about to move within that next 10 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Connie's here as well. Look at Connie's loadout. God damn, 2 chug jugs? What you need 2 chug jugs for, bro? And that gold shotgun as well. Go ahead and have that high-risk wood, and even if you miss with that shot, I mean, we saw the damage output of that pistol. Such high damage output. Now putting it to work at a distance, even from that distance. Hitting 40 in 2 shots is crazy, and now looking to go ahead, take the height. Diamond World looking to go and use those gauntlets to get out of dodge. And survive a little bit longer. Tie boss as well. They only wish that they had those overdrive grenades to get away a little bit quicker.
Got enough in terms of the heal resources, so even a little bit of chip damage along the way is okay, but managed to do a great job. That's one of the big things about the gauntlets as well. Whenever you're in the air, you can get sniped. You got such a predictable pattern, but being able to dash downwards over the edge of a cliff is so nice to be able to get away a little bit faster and be unpredictable. So we can jump back in across here. Another 2 kills to the tally here for Edgemead, and they're looking towards more, putting in some damage. Micah coming through there, and AWAC making the distance. All of them coming around and pincering in from various angles, being dissected and distracted, it seems. Shots trio now going to be in the line of sight of Dragon. Doesn't even need to put up some builds. Has got himself safely against the zone with their back, and even on the rotation, now just putting in that pressure. They want to go deep, and that zone, in fact, gets taken away. They know that there's people deep in the zone, and they want to chase them into danger.
Going deep at Sus Studios as well right now. And I mean, you see that Thunderburst SMG doing work. Edgemead just giving every fight that they possibly can. A little bit of a misuse over there on the gauntlets. Now has to go ahead and build up in the storm. Still early though. A 1 tick, and a whack right there to go ahead and start the cleanup on Isle Sus Studios as Cabo gets taken down. Another elimination on board. 12 teams, 31 players, and Santa is hiding with the elves right now, hoping to make it to next Christmas.
And I mean, look at this. Micah is playing, surfing the storm right now through the storm, knowing with 3 mid packs, you're going to be able to pick up all that chip damage. And they go in there, they clean up, and they're back into the zone now, just ready to take on the next one. But there's diminishing number of teams available, but so slowly, AR. We've still got 12 squads up here. So, I mean, that was only the second full squad wipe we've seen.
Aiden took out Aiden. That's Aidenception. And Soul Spicy gets taken out as well by Typo, taking us down to 29. And yeah, you see it in these players' inventories. Oh, switching out a gold combat for purple pistol. You're not gonna switch it out? That tells you how much the damage output is actually different between those two guns. That is insane. And of course, back to that point I was making, so many of these players, they know what's up. They're taking those pizza slices instead of the chug jugs for the quick kills. It allows you to get into combat so much quicker. Yes, Saints Joseph Methodist College right now, Suede, Suave, and Trix, names again that we've seen so many times before, looking to make plays. No KP as of yet, so that's a little tough for them as we're down to our top 12, but still so much time as we know that we're going to get that hot endings that we love over here in Fortnite.
We flicked through a lot of inventories there, and one of the things that we haven't talked about a lot so far is the materials. Not a lot of these teams are starting to carry massive mats, and we've seen, especially in this Premier Division, the number of teams that rely on having huge number of mats and building a scar base across there and just raining death from above. And I think a couple of teams are going to get caught off guard if they're not prepared, but it's getting a little bit too late. Be efficient as you can, but teams more focused. The fact that there's still 10 other squads around looking for blood, and it's up to Typo having lost Trots there. That was the team that was being pressured earlier, but escaping with 2 out of 3. A little late to try and get off a res, but the rest of the teams now coming in together and looking first to build a base, and then second to see what sort of advantage they can get on any latecomers.
And this is like takeoff, right? This is like the plane getting its speed on that runway. We see these players starting to move in, and we're going to see very little to no engagements until that final few zones where everyone's going to rotate in. Suave taking a couple shots here at CBK just to prove me wrong. Hits a 31 over there as AWAC takes out Trots again off of that reboot. That's unfortunate. That's just free KP for Edgemead as they get that. CBK trying to go ahead and get the rotate over here on Engie. 26 HP, editing through a little bit slow on those edits, a little bit risky, but manages to drop the pizza delivery down to get that health back up. Uzumaki just chilling now as well, needs to get over to the teammate. A duo in the situation as our top 11 have to move all the way southeast right now at storm number 6, and there's no time for them to think about it. That storm is moving right now.
And you can see they've got a long distance to go. You can see Aiden there, 19 builds left, and we haven't even started the proper engagements. It's the team scrambling for their life and needs to be careful, as I'm sure a lot of teams having set up down there already going to be looking to shoot backwards, but they may have enough problems on their own hands. Carl and the rest of the GHS side now closing the distance, getting some good aggression onto that high ground. Don't know if Konya knows that this is coming, but has that pistol and firing in from above. Divine, without the inventory to match, going to be trying to challenge it out. Carl already on the very high ground. Already got the confidence to look towards the distance, as they've got enemies that they need to buff below.
Still at our 11, 27 players. The mad dash begins, and we see the engagements coming through off of those rotations. As all these players now doing as much as they can, burning through those materials that we talked about, of course, for the safety, but the one thing that they forget about is the cruelty of Fortnite with that zone, because hey, there's 3 seconds and we're gonna have to move again. Where are we going? We're going back west, and there's a clump of players on the north side that have a massive rotate to go through, a risky rotate to go through, let alone the players in front of them that are west, but the players that are on top and below of them right now in those builds.
Those were our early offsetters, our guys who charged ahead in the previous zone and now being punished for it, having spent so much time and, like you say, stacked upon each other. Means that whoever goes first has shots in the back, but if you go too late, then you give up any sort of advantage of getting in there, and you know people will be looking towards you. However, our people on the western side are already sitting there as a barricade, moving as that storm creeps over. And they're just trying to balance between the existing builds as Tyboss taking a lot of damage, just settles down, has got the pizza in hand, and Farah alongside also with their 2 slices worth. They're getting pressured. They cannot do this forever, trying to figure out whether to go forwards or just go back, sharing the wealth. That measly pizza slice apiece right now for the 2 of them as they set up to make a run, but everyone else charging in behind them. Sano using that edge of the storm, the edge of the rock wall, but it's on the wrong side of the storm and needs to use the grenade. The whole team dropping what mobility that they can. Nice little slides to be able to keep that momentum, but taking too much damage, they need to be running this in the storm. And Sano now on 22 HP, Fishy and TRC, they're not going to be able to help out too much. And eventually, Sano's going to go down. The TRC also getting taken out, and Fishy dies to the storm. That's a trio that left and miscalculated by half a second. And the storm has no mercy.
And 8 bullets as well. There was nothing you could do in that situation to go ahead and protect yourself for as long as you can as we enter our top 8, 17 players. Storm moving towards the lakeside northeast of where we currently are, and a minute for these guys to go ahead, get their positioning. Early positioning is not always the best thing. I mean, you saw it happen just a couple zones ago. All those teams up north, they had a harsh rotate in. And CBK gets taken down. AWAC gets another one on the board for Edgemead. Aiden gets taken down by Kyle over there. And now the Thirst being seeked out. The Days will perhaps go through over there. There's too many walls in the way and not enough angles to go ahead and get that. But oh, did you see that for a split second off? There's a player all the way up. And they're using those gauntlets to get all the way up.
It's a brilliant way to get that extra bit of height. And now a couple of players are stuck in the builds as the storm moves once more back to the east. And I mean, this is where we start to see the kill feed lined up. And so the teams who were a little bit too focused on the Thirst, finishing people off or chewing through walls, they've been distracted. It's of course going to be Edgemead taking the high ground. They've done this time and time again. Micah gets knocked down though. They do maybe want to use those gauntlets to get back up, or the grenades trying to take that high ground. And that's unfortunately for them, that Skybase basically rendered mute as they've been forced down into just a couple of levels. As the sprawling metropolis turns into the residential countryside. Everyone looking for a home. Only 4 teams left and plenty of kills still on the offer with 11 players.
Somehow, even within that play of Mika falling down, Dragon found one as well over on Connie. So they're looking to go ahead and clean that up. There's the Thirst coming through from Dragon as well. Actually, no, Connie getting back in barely. Just in time. There we go. Finally gets that KP confirmed. I believe it is went off, but I mean, bullets just flying through left, right, and center as we still find ourselves in our top 4 situation. 10 players left alive. Enzyme building up ever so quickly to prevent Edgemead from dealing any more damage over there. But I mean, when you're dealing with a force like Edgemead, can you really ever have enough bullets? As Suave goes down, Divine gets taken out as well. Kyle doing some work there. Mika manages to take down Kyle in the end. Top 3 situation. 6 players left alive. It's an all-out brawl. It's an all-out war.
Oh no, Hippo!
As Edgemead takes it down. As Hippo on the height right now. Trying to do everything to survive. Cones coming through and eventually falls down. Edgemead puts their focus on the final. And I mean 18 eliminations and a victory royale kicks us off on the Premier Division.
Man, these guys have got that final routine, their practice. They see it enough times. Probably the most decorated victory royale winners out of anyone in this lobby and anyone in ASL this year so far. And you can see why. The strategy was there. They took that early high ground. I mean, let's be fair. They had consistent kills throughout the match. It wasn't just the end game, but the end game kind of crystallized what we got to see from there, where they take that high ground. They get knocked down. They get a kill on the way down. They take out whatever people are around them. They get back to the high ground. They go through there, and it's just as they're running out of materials, you went, does anyone have any materials enough to rebuff them? No, they don't, because Edgemead has used them all to build their path through to the victory and cleaning out those teams. Execution sublime, strategy sublime, and just Fortnite sublime by the end of the day.
Insane execution by Edgemead at game number 1. There's still a whole nother game to come about. My question is, how much points did Edgemead actually get over there? Well, to do that, we have to do a little bit of math. So we're going to take an intermission while we get that leaderboard and set up game number 2. Yes, there's still another game. Don't go anywhere. It's a long day of Fortnite. We'll be right back after this short intermission. One more game of Fortnite. We keep on asking for more, and here we have it. One more for tonight of the Premier League, and Alt, we gotta talk about what we witnessed in that first game. Our winners of that game, 18 eliminations, the Victory Royale, to give them 101 points. Edge, mid, high, pulling through once again.
I said it about halfway through that match when we first saw them. I was like, these are my guys that I'm not willing to put money on yet. I'm starting to get more convinced, AR, when you double your next opposition. The rest of the leaderboard, actually quite a close fight, all the way down from 2nd to 5th we have there as it scrolls back up. Keep your eyes out for it. 2nd position, St. Joseph's Morris College, then Glenwood High School, Bryanston High School, and Hoer School Trio. And those guys are all separated, I think it was by, 6 points that we said up at the top there, from 58 down to 52 points. That is an insane second string, but Edgemead, head and shoulders above everyone.
That is insane. They are the rulers. They are the destroyers. Right now, they are the bringers of war. And it seems like they are the mountain that these other teams cannot climb. But this is second game, and as we know, anything happens in Fortnite. Everything happens in Fortnite, actually. Scratch that anything. And with game number 2 over here just about to start, and with that leaderboard existing, that's also a target on Edgemead's backs. But I don't even think that matters, actually, because Edgemead play to a point where they're so aggressive that they take the target off of their backs and put it on everyone else's.
The target fades into the distance as they run away or at you. You don't get a chance to aim at that target when they're charging straight away with no hesitation. And it's that proactive nature, I think, that has seen Edgemead do so well. We kind of talked about it in the first game. If they get themselves an advantage, they close the fight out. They close the fight out, they loot up, but they don't hang around. They don't then start thinking about what's going on while they're busy picking up all the weapons that they need. They know what the next target are, and as soon as there's any hint of a team around it, they charge them down. So we'll see if that continues to be the case. But you said everything can happen in Fortnite. There are teams that can beat them here, and it's not that Edgemead's going to win every lobby. I love to see teams that can challenge them towards the top, and we had some very intense final fights. We'll have to see how that goes. But there's always enough action here in the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. And interestingly enough, teams going over Wonky Land for the edge of the map. And I think it's one of the few times that we actually see that. But unfortunately for Nice But Cool over here, Trix and the rest of company are here as well. And they've got an iron pump in hand already. Can't loot that chest, has to just take the zip line. And I mean, doing enough to go ahead and run away, but when you're getting chased that hard, it doesn't really matter. Trix almost goes down there as well from that 4 damage, but gets the siphon off of the thirst for our first elimination. And you hate to see that. You don't ever want to be the first person eliminated in ASL.
Yeah, I mean, not alone. Certainly, we've had 2 other casualties along the way. But I mean, certainly you can see why. You look at Wonky Land, there's already a team down there, so you try aim for the mountains, and another team chases you down. A team well revised in this, and Divine there lighting up the scoreboard as well. We saw Happy Hippo was our 2nd place there. Team under some pressure already.
12 getting an elimination. Enzyme finding one on Kyle as well, and actually looking to go ahead and get the confirm on Kyle. Manages to do so, gets the siphon, does not need to pop one of those med kits that are in inventory, but shields will need to be found very soon over here. And Happy Hippo rushing forth, building the walls to protect and getting that res off. Happy Hippo needs to live over here. Golden Thunderburst SMG in hand. You're going to want to keep that for ages.
Absolutely. And I like the fact that they timed that out. Enzyme was in a comfortable position, and so could kind of provide a bit of an overwatch over the top of that. And Happy Hippo takes that aggression to go through there. Pistol would have come in beautifully handy if anyone had decided to challenge. But everyone else, again, just going with their life. Boomy Bob, a name we saw with that team for the rest of today. Now the last person standing on their team. And Papa Action and Crazy maybe calling out to them desperately, run away, just get us back into this. But Boomy Bob seems intent on taking this 1v2. Oh, this is just like a patient standoff, just checking each other out, options, opportunities, and It seems to be going away right now.
I did not realize my mic was muted while I was coughing. I do apologize. As we do get the knockdown over and the confirm on Dandy over at the reboot van, and Chug Jug over there for Tricks will be in inventory. 3 kills to the team's name already. They get that KP up nicely, and of course they want to go ahead and increase that 10-fold, especially with what we saw in the last game with the amount of kills in that last game. You're going to want to keep pushing forward. It's a snowball effect. It happens in a lot of battle royales, but here specifically in ASL, you have to keep on snowballing. That's what makes Edgemead so powerful. They get their first elimination. They're not stopping to loot. They're not stopping to farm materials. They're listening for those shots, and they're finding the next players.
It's way more efficient to loot the materials of the person you've just killed than to try and use your pickaxe for that. That's for the best. No. Trot's trio coming out here with a really nice beam. Take out Farah along that zip line, and we're going to be able to throw their one up there. Going to go for the thirst, and far too separated for the team as Farah, Tyboss, and Grimy seem to have their own problems as they're being cut off by the rest of the trio. And Tyboss, with that bouncing grenades, being able to go over quite a wonderful distance and does get themselves out, even with Grimy going down behind them. So keeps the team alive, but a couple of extra KP coming out there. Dangerous Palms has not seen the last action just yet. The team actually has Aiden and Typo Trots all coming through there. They've met up against none other than AWAC, Dragon, and Micah.
The shots immediately going through. They're not worried about playing passively. They're not worried about sneaking around. They rolled a nat 20 on their hit over here, and they're looking to get as much damage output as they possibly can. I mean, the team down low, they don't know what to do right now. They don't know which angle to peek, which rotate to have, because there's that height advantage again. The high ground once again, always claimed by Edgemead. And Dragon with the beam finds the opening for the rest of the squad to now push in. There goes the overdrive grenades. Shotgun out. Here's the death from above you talk about. Edits through. 86. Beam comes through with the combat. Now looking for a cleanup. Goes down. There's a trade that will happen. But, I mean, when AWAC is this close, when Mika is here as well to back up, you can go for that race. And AWAC does. He tries to stick it. Gets forced off of it for just a second. Trots lost alive, trying to do everything that they can. Mika and AWAC so healthy though, put so much pressure on Trots over here. And I mean, this is looking to be all Edgemead again. As there we go, the cleanup will come through as they get themselves 3 more KP for that board.
First team wipe for them of the game, and expecting it to not be the last. And you can see how they did it. They set themselves up high, take the shots, wait for the teammates to rotate in, and by the time they get themselves a knock, they're all ready to go. Then they can just trade it out, turn that 3v2 into a 2v1, then clean it up after they get the res off. No casualties and all the resources that they want. So other teams having now, I did see AR at the end of game number 1 that there were a couple of these top players' names in the chat there. And it means that they saw the results. They now understand what it takes to be at the top of this leaderboard, and may have motivated and seems to have motivated a couple of these teams into a much more aggressive play style.
And genuinely, even so, that's such a good thing to do as well, because of course we had the delay so that there's no sneaky business going on. It gives you an opportunity to look at that end game in a different perspective. And it allows you as a player to see, okay, maybe I should have rotated around this way. Instead of doing this, maybe I can do that. And you can scheme around for the next game with your team. So seeing that happen, seeing these players in chat, we love to see it. We love to see these players always evolve in ASL, in Fortnite, in any game that we do over here on broadcast. Meanwhile, though, in-game, Suave takes down Tyboss, and we're down to 27 players and 11 teams at Storm number 3. Once again, a quickened pace here on the battles, on the wars that are happening within this Premier Division game number 2.
Yeah, you can see it just in the way the players are moving. Even when they're not under pressure, there's a frenetic pace to it. There's a frenzy about the way they're flicking back and forth and scanning for this loot. They understand it's not just about the execution. There's an efficiency that you have to bring. There's so many steps that lead you towards that crown. And These players are trying to make the most of every moment. So we see that it has calmed down for just a little bit, and so decision making becomes a big part of it. Teams taking the time to get those mats up. Happy Hippo knows what it's like to run out of those in the dying moments of the game, and so going to be encouraging the team and getting some really nice rock and other valuable resources there to get the best builds.
94 in Ripjaw's inventory right now. That'll survive you for just a little bit. A 1 or 2 fights. Gonna farm up just a bit more, way up to 150 or closer to 150, I should say. And this is, like you said, that dull down moment, the slower pace where these teams are gonna be getting the ammo that they need, getting the materials that they need, searching around the loot pools for any mobility that they may need. We saw a couple teams use those skyline deployers as well to get the rotate in. And having that towards this end game, especially with the gap in the zone, is insane. Dragon, what in God's name was those flicks? I need to know why there were circles drawn as you shotgun that player to death. And that's another KP on the board for Edgemead.
Listen, AR, I have seen the youth of today, their aim trainers, their tracking abilities, the speed at which these youngsters think, and I have officially hung up my boxing gloves for good because wow, can these guys execute? And Dragon is doing just that with the rest of this Edgemead side. And a big part about this, of course, is that the team that they're currently engaged with is in second place. St. Joseph's Morris College, they're sitting quite a number of points behind, but would be devastated in such a close fight for second place right now. And AWAC, Dragon, Micah, they seem content. Just spray down the bushes, make sure there's no one around, and even spread out, looking to just secure the inner circle while the teammates go out towards the landing to get the last bit of resources that they can.
And you take a look at the inventory over there for Edgemead. They have the purple combat. They have the purple iron pump shotgun. They also have the gauntlets to go ahead and rotate. And then, of course, that pizza to heal up quite quickly over there. Happy Hippo taking down Mr. Fishy there in that 1-by-1. And having teammate to back up over there means that that kill came through very, very easily. Sano Striker getting taken down as well, was extremely low. I think died to the storm over there, yes, but the revive will go through. And there's even some bandages over here on TRC to go ahead and heal up. Guys, we are down to 25 players left alive in this, and a quite central zone actually. Just moved a little bit to the east side and surrounding Sandy Strip. A lot of players still outside of the zone. One player deep within the storm up north in the snow area. I wonder what they're actually doing over there.
What's amazing to me is how static everyone's being. Even with the zone closing in, people are kind of moving slowly across the map. And with these lower populous lobbies, as we get to quieter end zones, it's not enough. You might be surviving, but there's no other teams being eliminated. And no KP going towards your name. That's where the proactive nature comes in so big. I mean, look how deep this is. This is insane. There's no way AR that they can come back from here, right?
I mean, maybe a skyline deployed to go ahead and come back, but even so, you're dealing with the likes of, like we're watching, Edgemead over here, close to the edge of zone, clearing out anyone in this area as they look for Zero Chill right now. Dragon finds 2 over there, gets shot in the back, and this is a big opening for Zero Chill and squad. They see it, they see the kill feed, and they immediately go for the confirm. Mika and AWAC right now, last 2. AWAC very low as well. Will the heads of the table be taken down over here towards the mid-game, the end-game, I should say. AWAC shotgunned out of mid-air like it's skeet shooting. And Mika, wise enough, just before that encounter, to go ahead deep into the storm right now. Try to find a reboot van and get the reset. But okay, listen. We talk about the team not coming back.
Goodness.
We talk about that not coming back, Alt. They are back, and they've got numbers coming back this time.
Wow, the late game play. I love that teams are going for these delayed strategies and you come back in full force with a trio alongside you. I mean, they are going to still need to get out of the storm and try and get some sort of inventory behind them to bring some sort of fight towards this end zone. But absolute recognition of skill and audacity right now for the team out there. We did see Micah also heading off into the darkness of the storm, trying to stay alive, and has got the chug jugs behind them to be able to survive that for as long as they need. One else on the inside, though, still looking for more some more position and placements as Happy Hippo and the rest of this team. They've been the only other team that I've seen show real aggression.
Yeah. We have a couple numbers dwindling down, but still at our top 10 situation. Storm number 5 means that we have reached the 2-tick zone of Storm. Suede taken down eventually over there, whether it be to the Storm, whether it be to a little bit of misplay on the 4 damage, one can only imagine. TRC goes for the shotgun play, does not work, immediately tries to back out, building really quickly, and there's that speed boost from the overdrive grenades as well, enough to go ahead and make some distance. And now we're playing prop hunt, now we're playing hide and seek, and now we're chilling under the stairs, popping a medkit in Storm, as everyone just leaves the building, doesn't check the obvious areas. And now we still have TRC in this game. Skyline deployer goes out, and we will see TRC make it at least close to this next zone.
Oh man, that's huge to be able to cover that distance. So down to themselves on their own as we jump in with CBK right now, engaged in a build battle. Got Orbit up above, and CBK kind of pressed in right now. They've got all the healing resources that they could want, but very little to offer in terms of aggressive prowess, and that is why this team, only with a single KP to their name, is now put into a dire situation on the edge of the zone, and that zone AR again, as cruel as ever.
It's actually pulling south as well over there. TRC doesn't have to go the distance to get back in over there. We do see Dragon, AWAC, and Mika with a full reset. They are back strong in numbers once again. They're looking to go ahead and get their revenge on the teams that may have dealt them a little bit of a damage over there. Mainly to the pride and the ego, of course. We're down to our top 8, 23 players. Storm number 6. Care package also in that zone if anyone wants to go for the risky play. Get some ammunition, get some materials, of course. If you don't have time to farm the materials over here, and if you're in Sam's predicament with 22 builds, that care package will drop a couple builds for you as well. So that can also be a play. But 30 seconds until the Storm starts moving.
Now's when we get to see the teams that were in a good position or have set up nice and early. They've got the freedom to open up whatever edits that they want, whatever windows and cracks, to get the best sight lines on their opposition and just turn their attention. But you poke out for just a second, watch the back of your head as much as you were watching forwards. And there we see taking was Waki taking a lot of damage, but has spotted out, and Aiden going to be putting in some viable shots themselves. But he's way too many angles. Everyone's looking at you there, and loses all of the shields that they could ever have.
My God, that was a lot of it. That was too many shots, in fact. I'm surprised that Brick Wall survived that long with the amount of shots coming through at it. AWAC and Mika getting a couple eliminations in that kill feed. Suede getting one as well. Zero Chill finding another. 18 players is all that remains as the zone moves southwest. Storm number 7, and look at the culmination of players right now. Some of them on these mountains, some of them on the low ground, some of them like Dragon, deciding whether to use those gauntlets or not to push that high ground, to push Volix and Zero Chill up top over here. They've got 7 kills to their name. They're a name to be reckoned with right now in game number 2. Now the rotates come through. 45 seconds is all that is left for these players to make any play and secure themselves at least that top 5.
I like this. Use the ground. Don't try and commit to those area builds just yet. And a couple more gauntlets if anyone wants to pick those ones up. And certainly seen everyone taking advantage. It's a really nice place for our team with Zero Chill to set up. They're nicely confident in there. They've got a solid ground behind them. And look at this overview that they've got. Anyone running towards them gets picked off. Dragon going to pick up Santajal along the way, but I think that was an extra one out for Zero Chill, and Suede going to go down. Spicy as well. This is an absolute bloodbath as you watch that kill feed. The number of players left ticking down as fast as the zone is, and down to 2 seconds. We eventually came down 5, down to 4. 10 players left, and the bullets have not stopped flying. Volksy going to be able to claim a couple of kills along there and takes the high ground, though, being spotted out. A Happy Hippo going to be smiling broadly with that. Going to be able to get away as well. Zero Chill trying to close that distance. Still, it's Edgemeat looking so comfortable, so happy and healthy, ready to engage when the rest of this dust settles.
I like that you said as how fast the storm moves, because the storm claimed about 6 people in that one moment. That is insane. As we're down to our top 3, ladies and gentlemen. 9 players left. The third over on Zero Chill's team, down to 27 HP. 2 kills now to the name, so did find a little bit of KP, pushing them up to 12. Pops the Chug Jug, has enough to go ahead and get a full reset. Zero Chill trying to go ahead and tunnel out just a little bit, make some space, get some real estate for them to work with over here. Look at that mini-map out. And of course, on the high ground, we know who it is. It's Edgemead back at it again. It's your boy, another tutorial video on how to get the high ground effectively here at ASL Premier Division game number 2. And immediately cone bridging towards the safety of where that next one's going to be and getting as much angles as they possibly can.
And I love that they played patient up until now, and they love these 3 teams left situations where they can let their opponents just fight it out at the bottom. He's going to be able to get up with a little bit more, and Happy Hippo, the last one left alive here. I believe that's Bryanston, as Happy Hippo with 8 kills to their name, still a name to be reckoned with, and has got the inventory to keep them alive, at least in terms of shields. Those gauntlets going to be able to get them out of trouble, but trouble seems to be in every direction, and it's towards the side. Does manage to get up, gets out a nice shot, but can't afford to trade it too much, and instead decides to go on the aggressive, maybe just rotating around, gets taken down mid-animation. AWAC has also hit the ground. There's Volxus being able to stack that up a little bit more. 16 kills to this team. If anyone was going to remove Edgemead from the top of the leaderboard, it would be this trio versus the duo right now.
Numbers advantage in hand. They have the low ground. They are but split up, but the height belongs to Edgemead currently. They're not doing too well on their kills, not as high as we're used to seeing them, of course, because of that eliminations earlier on in the game, because they needed to get that reset. But now they need to keep this height. Now they need to play this perfectly. They don't even have the heals to go for a heal off in this situation. There's the tunneling coming through down low from Volix and crew. As they drop down, they're going to secure the low ground as best as they can, if it's the only thing that they can do. Zero Chill looking up, and for once, looking up to the hudders above. That is going to be Edgemead as they now drop down, trying to stay on the height for as long as they possibly can, trying to maintain that advantage for as long as they possibly can. But Mika and Dragon have to make a play here very, very soon, as we're about to get to the final few zones over here. 40 seconds left on that clock. We are going to see Zero Chill go down. Dragon takes down 1. Looking for a second. Volix takes down Dragon, though. It's a 1v2 situation. Gauntlets coming out, and mid-air skeet shooting results in Volix and company getting themselves that victory royale. And would you look at the kills as well? 18 to counter that first game of Edgemead.
Oh, that is actually insane. I love that there was such a close fight for second position, because Edgemead has now joined it, as I don't know if that's a really overcome, considering Edgemead still came out with a fair number of kills and that second place. But if ever there was a team that was going to challenge, this is the one. And I love that at the end, the numbers advantage, they played safe at the bottom and they just force Edgemead. Yeah, you got your strategies, but we have the numbers, we have the HP, we have the loadouts, we have the crown now. Great to see 2 different teams, despite having the same consistent teams amongst the top. Different teams taking home the crowd just shows you that ASL is not a foregone conclusion. We have lots to play for this term.
That, of course, was Hurskor Dynamica that takes the first place in game number 2. Premier Division as hot as ever, Alton. This is just day number 1. We've just started. We're just showcasing the new updates that came out, everything that's been unvaulted, and it's been absolutely hot from the get-go. The minute that light turned green, these players were like, all gas, no brakes. I brought it back. Listen, 2026, we're bringing it back, okay? All gas, no brakes is the Premier Division. And why are these guys going all gas, no brakes? What does this lead to?
You talk about this being the first day. This is just Fortnite. There are multiple titles. We do everything from Rocket League to Brawlhalla to Minecraft to chess is even available on the ASL site. We try and broadcast as much of that action as we possibly can. So stay tuned to this channel. Make sure to follow it if you don't know just yet, and all the ACGL socials. But AR and myself, we also post out about this cool stuff we're going to be doing, because there's so much as we build through term 2. Everyone looking to qualify for AGC, the biggest LAN, school-based tournaments, pro-based tournaments across multiple titles at the best venues. We've been there for the last 2 years, and we want to see you there this year.
It's phenomenal to have that happen. Guys that watch ASL, guys that watch our personal stuff as well. They come through at AGC, at LANs, and they come and talk to us. They meet us for the first time, and we love meeting fans. We love meeting the future esports players of South Africa, and we love all this non-stop action and the storylines out. We love the storylines. We love a good angle when it comes to every broadcast that we have, whether it be the rivalries that we saw in term number 1, because there was a lot of rivalries in term number 1, or whether it be the non-stop action that we see over here in the Premier Division. These teams battling it out, giving their all, and leading us to leaderboards like this. 29 kills for Edgemead, 177 points. That is insane. 47-point difference right now between first and second.
And that's about the consistency. Yeah, you didn't win every one of your lobbies, but you showed up, and coming second, and especially with that mentality to try and hoover up the map as you go throughout the match instead of leaving it towards the end, is what gets you. I mean, what a staggering number of kills at the end there. When you got 40 in the third place, 29 between 2 lobbies is ridiculous. Nice to see Bryanston there up into third position. Not a school that we've seen too often here in it. And consistently well played for both those. Still St. Joseph's Morriston trio there, bringing it up. So week number 1 has seen the rise of a couple of new stars alongside a couple of the old names.
Absolutely, and we love to see that. We love to see new talent show up and not just showcase what they can do, put pressure on the old talent that we do have existing over here, and show them why this is an ever-evolving channel, why this is an ever-evolving division, why ASL puts the megastars in the making on the map. But that's all the Fortnite that we had. We did 4 games of Fortnite today. 2 open, 2 premier, and it's total non-stop action every single time. But that is all that we have for now. So, like I said, hit the follow button over here. Go check out the ACGL socials. Go check out the website. Heck, we might even post about it. Go check us out as well, because we are going to have more weeks, many more weeks of term number 2. But at the end of it, that's all in a day's work. We'll see you next time.